To lash out at someone. My friends lashed out at me the other day because I didn't go bowling with them. They were really upset with me. So we've got this phrasal verb to lash out at somebody, and it just means basically to get very angry with them. You're lashing out. I think lash maybe refers to whipping somebody, but this is verbally. You're lashing out. When I was a kid, my parents would lash out on me a lot when I broke the rules. Oh man, I had to take a grammar test today. Whew, it was rough. Well, how'd you do? I tell you, man, I crashed and burned. So to crash and burn is a phrase that we used to use a lot before the phrase epic fail became very popular, and it basically means the same thing. If you crash and burn, it's like an epic fail. It's a disaster.
I've got to hand it to you, man. You did a really nice job on your website. Why, thank you. That's so kind of you to say. I've got to hand it to you. This is a nice preface that you can introduce a compliment with, right? When you are giving someone a compliment, you might start off by saying, I've got to hand it to you. It's like, I've got to give you credit or give you praise. We say, I've got to hand it to you. My voice just cracked. Must be a phase in my life. But we'll say, I've got to hand it to you. You did a really good job. I've got to hand it to you. It's like, I got to give you the compliment. You deserve it. To do something in spite of someone. This is a phrase that we usually use to talk about doing something just to kind of make someone else suffer, right? Usually just because you dislike that person, maybe out of hatred, right? And it's not something you necessarily need to do. So a good example would be like if I really like chocolate cake and I'm on some sort of diet where I can't eat chocolate cake, and my friend who does not like chocolate cake is eating a lot of chocolate cake when it's available in front of me, and they're just doing it in spite of me. They're just doing it to watch me suffer. So you do something in spite of someone, it's like to enjoy that person's suffering, kind of. So you really have to not like that person or just want to torture them for some sick reason. Hey, my cell phone battery died. Can I use yours for a minute? Yeah, sure, man. Here you go. Knock yourself out. So we use this odd phrase sometimes where we say knock yourself out when someone asks us if they can use something that is ours, right? So for example, if somebody says, hey, do you mind if I help myself to a beer in your kitchen, in your refrigerator? You might say this. You might say, yeah, sure, knock yourself out. It's kind of like a way of expressing that you're laid back, that person can do whatever they want, feel comfortable. It's like, enjoy yourself to the fullest. Knock yourself out. Have a great time. Have so much fun that you knock yourself out and lose consciousness. I don't know. You're late again. You're in big trouble. Come on, I got held up in traffic. Cut me some slack. So to cut someone some slack is a phrase that we use to basically say, give someone a break. Don't be so hard on this person. We'll say, cut me some slack. So next time your teacher is being very difficult with you or asking you hard questions, you might say, hey, come on, cut me some slack. I didn't get very good sleep last night. Just give me a break. It's like, give me a break, basically. But slack is actually like when you have a rope. I screwed that up. When you have a rope and it's tight, and then you have a rope that is loose, we say you have slack in the rope. So, I don't know if that helps. Do you know if Kyle's coming to my party? No, he's still pretty mad at you for not giving him a birthday card in 2017 on his birthday. Seriously? Man, that guy can really hold a grudge. So we use the phrase to hold a grudge to talk about when you maintain your anger with someone for a long period of time. We call it holding a grudge. So you don't get over things easily. You don't just forget about it and move on. You hold a grudge and you have a hard time moving on from whatever made you upset.
like in this example, Kyle is upset with the protagonist because the protagonist forgot his birthday in 2017. So it's 2021 and Kyle is still holding the grudge. Hey, are you ready to go see that movie with me? Yeah, I'm ready to go. But I want to tell you something now. If they make us pay for parking again, that's a deal breaker for me. I'm just turning around and coming home. I'm not paying for a movie and paying for parking. That's a deal breaker. So for something to be a deal breaker, this is a phrase we like to use when we're basically saying that there's a contingency that will basically make or break the deal, right? So we will not follow through, we will not carry out the deal if there is something in particular we don't like. It's common with like dating, right? Somebody might say, if this person that they're going to date is a smoker, that might be a deal breaker, for example. A deal breaker.
So we use this phrase to be off the hook to talk about not being responsible for something, not having to do something that you might have previously been obligated to do. We say you're off the hook, right? I guess I'm off the hook now. Or for example, if you are responsible to do something and something gets in the way of that responsibility and you no longer have that responsibility, you would say, okay, you're off the hook. It's like the hook is like something that keeps you committed, obligated. And when you're off the hook, you no longer have that obligation.
That party last night was off the hook. So when something is off the hook, it just means that it was a lot of fun, it was crazy, it was wild. People use it a lot in slang to talk about something that was really cool. Maybe if a singer is coming out with a new album, you might hear somebody say that new album that they came out with is off the hook. It's kind of more of like a cool slang to use though, so if you don't feel really comfortable using those ones, then this one might not be very good for you. But we'll say it a lot, like, oh, this is off the hook. Or that party was off the hook, like in the example. Just means that it was a lot of fun, it was exciting, and you had a good time.